In my past life, my biological parents, Matt and Kate, dumped me in an asylum for the sake of an adopted daughter, letting them trample all over me. In the end, I was left paralyzed, covered in sores, and died bitterly. I opened my eyes again, and decided I'd go crazy, and get back at everyone. I was reborn, right at the family reunion party where my biological parents had just brought me home. In my previous life, Mom and Dad took me in because of the inheritance from Grandpa, just before I became an adult, but they looked down on me. On the surface, we were a happy family, but really, they didn't care about me at all. They kept lecturing me non-stop, while living flashy lives on my money. Because of their adopted daughter Lily's words, they threw me into the asylum. In the end, I was paralyzed, lying there with my skin rotting until I literally starved to death. This time around, I'm ditching the sentiment. I'm taking back what's mine. Suddenly, a chill blew under my dress. I steadied myself, standing there at the kitchen door with a chicken in one hand, a duck in the other, and a chubby kid under my skirt. That shameless little brat is Mickey, Lily's doing. Last time, Lily set me up, saying Mom and Dad wanted the freshest ingredients. She bought live chickens and ducks for me to kill, claiming it showed a daughter's filial piety. Not only did I end up stinking like bird poop at my own welcome party, but she also got a distant relative's kid, Mickey, to prank me while I was busy in the kitchen. He snapped a picture up my skirt and spread it in the family group, making me a laughing stock. My parents already thought little of me, and from then on, blatantly favored Lily. This time, as soon as Mickey grabbed onto my leg, I kicked hard and sent him flying 2 meters away. Mickey screamed in pain, and as the crowd rushed over in shock, I got a moment to collect myself. Everyone gathered, and Mickey lay on the ground wailing to his mom. "Emma, are you crazy?" Before I could say a word, Mom's voice piped up. "I'm not crazy. In my past life, I was a well-behaved, sensible child who was shipped off to a mental hospital. Lily was scared my parents would regret it and take me back, so she bribed the hospital to torture me. I was taken for electrotherapy every day, electrocuted until my skin was burnt and ruined. Then they'd put me in a tub filled with ice for water therapy, locked in for the whole afternoon. In the end, I was left paralyzed, rotting, and living like a wild dog. Who wouldn't go mad? I'm not just going insane. I'm going to crawl, shriek, scream, and skitter along the ceiling, twisting and turning like a monkey, attacking everyone who crosses my path. Mickey harassed me, crawled under my skirt, and it's my fault for reacting. He's just a kid. So what if he crawled under your skirt? You're wearing it. Why can't people see it? Why wear it if you don't want anyone looking? My mean Aunt Luna yelled. He's only in his teens. How could you hit him? Mickey's mom countered. So what if he sees a bit? Is a piece of you gonna fall off? Learn from your sister. Kate chimed in. Yeah, sister, you're too rough, Lily said, pretending to be concerned. They bickered like a bunch of noisy ducks, some even trying to hit me. I couldn't take it anymore. I felt like punching the whole planet. Sometimes you just can't be too normal. I'd had enough. I moved my shoulders around and tossed the chicken and duck at the approaching people. The room descended into chaos with chickens and ducks running wild, and I thought, if they are gonna die anyway, why not let me do it? Why am I wearing a skirt? To party on your grave. I lunged forward, yanked 2 clumps of Luna's hair out, and said, I'm just a kid too. You can't hit me back, huh? I threw punches and kicks, tripping Mickey's mom headfirst and turning her face into a pig snout. As for my mom, if seeing a little doesn't hurt, let me see yours. With a loud rip, Kate's dress tore apart, and I snapped some shots underneath it with my phone. Sexy kitty, I said, eyes gleaming as I ripped more. What a show-off. I was all excited, barking like a big monkey. I shouted, wow, you're wild. Lily stood there, frozen in fear, not understanding why I went from timid to insane. I seized her collar. Lily, sweet sister, let me show you just how rough I can be. She barely let out a scream before I grabbed the duck parading around and smooshed it into her face with its rear end. The duck kindly pooped right on her face. Mickey was still half dead and wailing. I decided to give him a gift, eyeing the bag of crawfish. Had a fantastic idea. So young and sneaky, crawling under girls' skirts, huh? Let's see how you like it. Grabbed the biggest one, walked toward him, pulled open his pants, popped the crawfish in, and tied the rope tight. Smooth moves, all in one go. Catch the little bird. A sharp scream later, Mickey fainted clutching his pants. I shook my head. Can't handle it, huh? If you keep causing trouble, Dad will come and beat you to death, Lily said, which got my fists all riled up again. Before he gets here, I might just finish you off. I dashed over, slapped her face a few times for good measure. Wow, that's tough skin. My hand's hurting. Gotta find a slipper. I glanced around and saw Kate's pair, and just as I was struggling to pull one off, Dad came in. "What are you doing? You think this is a marketplace?" he shouted, eyes bulging, face red with veins popping up on his forehead. Hearing his voice, I froze, ruffled my hair into a bird's nest, and screeched at him. "Acting crazy is fun, right? If you treat me like dirt, I'll drag everyone down with me." "Dad, Mom's in a sexy get-up, about to strip." With that, everyone looked at Mom. She was flustered, and her pale legs peeked out despite her attempts to cover them. Maybe overwhelmed by all the eyes, her face went red, and she ran out crying, losing her last shred of dignity along the way. A few poked fun at Dad with wolf whistles, glaring at him like, "You've embarrassed yourself." "Bad news," Mom streaking. "Good news, I did it." "Mom, don't go. You forgot your bra." I shouted after her, crazily waving her underwear, managed to chuck it right in Dad's face. "Emma." Dad clenched his fists, shaking. "What are you doing?" I shrugged my shoulders and tried to act innocent, chuckling. "Oops, slipped." Lily, with her swollen face, snuggled closer to him. "Dad, Sis is being so mean." Dad was about ready to explode, insulting your mom, hitting your sister. "Have you no shame?" I just let his words go in one ear and out the other. "If you can't stand me, go die. Why bother yelling at me?" He pointed angrily. "You believe I'll send you back?" He meant back to my adoptive parents. When I was kidnapped and sold, it was to a family in a nearby village, who had a son with learning difficulties. They thought it was a perfect plan, buying a girl to raise, so she'd eventually be their son's child bride. So from a young age, they treated me like livestock. In the summer, I'd swelter in intense heat working the fields with my adoptive father. In winter, they'd force me to wash clothes in icy water to save on electricity. My hands, at 18, were as calloused as someone twice my age. But that wasn't the worst. They brainwashed their son to believe I was his bride, making him think it was okay to torment me. I'd spent my childhood dodging his harassment and beatings. The trauma from that family was so deep, even 2 lifetimes later, it made me shiver. When Dad saw my sudden pale face, he smirked. "You better sign this transfer agreement now, or else I'll send you back to that dump, back to being a wife to an idiot." His cold eyes bore into me, devoid of any warmth. After 2 lifetimes as his daughter, I knew Matt's MO, but this time, I wasn't gonna let him win. "Get this straight, I'm not your daughter. I'm the heir to the corporation." I boldly sat right in front of him. "Dad, Grandpa left a will. I inherit 30% of the company. You sure about sending me away?" Matt was shocked by me calling him Dad, but what followed floored him even more. "How do you know about that?" Under his intense scrutiny, I slowly spoke up, "Because I'm your father." Before he could explode, I waved my hand. "The will's clear. Me, Emma, a shareholder of the company." Grandpa was heartbroken after he lost me. Even after adopting Lily, who was about my age, he couldn't find peace. He spent his life searching for me. Before he died, Grandpa made Mom and Dad promise to find me. It was partly so they wouldn't give up on me and partly due to his own guilt. His will ensured I inherited the company's shares and assets. If it wasn't for the money, they would have forgotten about their biological daughter ages ago. Once I claimed my inheritance, I'd be the biggest shot in the family. If I'm happy, Dad can keep his position. If not, he's out tomorrow. Don't forget, you need to be of age and get shareholder approval before you can inherit anything. His anger made his voice hoarse, like a powder keg about to blow. I crossed my arms, gave him a casual look. "Not your problem. Focus on your wife and daughter. By the way, playing around like this, no brothers or sisters popped out." "Dad, not working out for you. Need a bro's help." I looked down at his little clothes, hinting heavily. "Are you nuts? She's your mom. How'd I end up with someone like you?" Fuming, Dad stormed out, leaving me alone in the big room. I finally let out a breath I'd been holding. "Yeah, she's my mom, but I haven't forgotten how, in my past life, she sent me to an old judge's bed for Lily's dance award. Making a fool of them now is mercy on my part. From the moment I stopped breathing in my past life, I stopped hoping for family affection. If there's no love, lots of money isn't a bad deal. Just a few months till I'm of age. As for shareholder approval, I've got plans. I'm crazy, sure, but I'm not stupid. Grandpa's will isn't easy to inherit. If they catch me slipping, I'd be done for. Forget it. I'm sleeping. A twisted mind needs a healthy body. The next day, I strolled into the dining room, seeing the 3 of them huddled together. Mom and Lily clung to each other, sobbing. Lily's face was still swollen. Mom was fully covered head to toe. I sneaked up behind them and suddenly shouted, "Good morning, Piggy and the Streaker." They jumped up. Mom saw me, and remembering yesterday's disgrace, lifted her hand to slap me. I blocked it. If you dare hit me. Yesterday's streaking video gets played on the neighborhood screen. Waving my phone, I grinned at her. Putting it online with Dad's influence would get my account shut down fast. Better to play it locally. This neighborhood is full of rich folks, always looking for juicy gossip. You little witch, should have let you die out there. Mom couldn't hit, so she gritted her teeth in anger. Oh please, if I died, who'd burn paper for you? Rely on adopted Lily there. Emma, you. Dad, seeing Mom and Lily losing, impatiently knocked the table. Under his pressure, they had to simmer down. Just as I sat, Lily started trouble again. Why are you sitting here? Dad, Mom, I can't eat with her here. Since the air cleared and the rain stopped, Lily felt brave again. Honestly, even though I'm the real deal, the genuine daughter, I hardly ever ate at the table. Lily always said seeing me made her sick, so Dad and Mom kicked me out to appease her. During my years back, I ate in the kitchen, more like a maid than a lady of the house. Before Lily could speak again, I flopped on the floor, furiously ruffling my hair, screaming, crying, rolling my eyes, and spitting in the soup. Then I dumped rice on her face. Amidst their shocked faces, I walked out. Seeing them calm down, I sprung another surprise. Emma, what's that you're holding? The closer I got, the further they backed away. Stay back. Lily pinched her nose, almost choking. In a creepy voice, I reassured them, eat poop, you. Poo attack. Without another word, I scooped the mysterious mess and flung it at them. They scattered in panic. The whole area smelled like a septic explosion. Without my dignity, I've never felt better. What kind of level is this? Sitting at the same table with me. If I can't eat, then nobody eats. As soon as I said that, some unknown stuff fell on Lily's head, yellow and green, smelling like trash. From now on, I'll eat at my own table. Can we do a full-course Chinese banquet? I threatened them. Fine, fine, it's all yours. Just stop it, will you? Seriously, what's wrong with going crazy? The world's so big. Who am I pretending to be normal for? And about the stuff in my old room, you have one day to move it out, or it's going into a pile of dung. Got it? One more word from you, I swear I'll beat you. I acted like I was going to dump a basin on Lily's head, scaring her into nodding rapidly. Since I got what I wanted, I didn't toss it since the stuff was all gone from the basin. Feeling satisfied, I was heading out when I heard the maid on a call. Come quick, our toilet exploded. Just to clarify, it wasn't the toilet. It was for fertilizing the garden, using manure. How do I know? Cause in my past life, I was responsible for watering the flowers, a big gift from Lily. The current me is pretty mad. When I go crazy, even a passing dog doesn't escape without a kick from me. It's like random attacks, and if you get hurt, tough luck. The outcome of this was that I got my room back, and all kinds of preferential treatment. I'm not scared Dad will kick me out, because once I'm out, plenty of people will take care of me because of the will. Not even scared of him hitting me, cause I've got a reputation for being nuts. Who knows, I might stir up more trouble. I could care less about losing face, while he still needs to save his. Sure, he probably curses me behind my back, whatever. I bet I can curse more harshly than any of them. Due to my limitless craziness, I lived quite comfortably for a long time, running around outside every day, biting anyone who tried to stop me. I crashed the last party with my fits of madness, but recently, Dad's been eager to do another one for his birthday. I know what he's up to. Just trying to show others he's still the most powerful in the group, and also using me as a pretty showpiece, displaying me for a business marriage. In my past life, Dad succeeded in doing just that, grinding me down to nothing while using my name to cheat my shares and funds, dominating the market, and squeezing out other shareholders. This life, forget it. Well, it did make things easier for me. If everyone didn't show up, how could the show go on? At the banquet, people avoided me, and I got the corner seat, enjoying some peace. Lily probably wanted revenge for before, inching closer. Some people, really country bumpkins, never seen such a big scene, hiding from people. She gave me a huge eye roll, making her girlfriends burst into laughter. I stayed silent. She got bolder and bolder. Emma, the only one Mom and Dad care about here is me. Take my advice and get out of here early. Before she could finish, I shot back, you're a fake. Those words changed the look in her girlfriend's eyes, now filled with mockery and disdain, just like how they looked at me. Most people knew Lily was the adopted daughter, but no one dared to outright question her identity, as she was the cherished daughter. If she wanted to step on me to rise up, dream on. Say that again, I'll tear your mouth apart. Lily shouted, face full of embarrassment. You're a fake. I shot back again. Can't you say something else? You got splashed with manure. As soon as I said it, her crowd instantly backed away a meter, afraid of catching anything. Seriously, yuck, that's disgusting. Her posse started whispering, and no matter how Lily explained, it was useless. Really, I've got pictures. If you wire me some money, I'll show you. Honestly, who doesn't love gossip? While I was surrounded, collecting money, Mom came over to support her. Emma apologized to Lily. See, whenever Lily's upset, somehow it's my fault. I've seen people picking up money, but never running for a scolding. Fine, they asked for it. I've got a video of my mom streaking. Whoever wants a look, send me $200. Right after that, a few socialites, who didn't like my mom, came running my way. Mom, don't faint. Lily freaked out, holding Mom in a panic. Nice try messing with me. I'll ruin you. It's another delightful day. Through all the chaos here, Dad was still talking smoothly on stage, looking all important. Today is my birthday, as well as my daughter Emma's day to be officially included in the family. Emma, come say hi to everyone. I lifted my dress slightly, holding a glass of champagne, and walked up the stage next to Dad. I cleared my throat, adjusted my tone, and started. Today, we're gathered here to celebrate Dad's birthday. Over the years, thanks to his care, my life has been a living hell. Today, I genuinely want to thank him for creating my miserable life. I also sincerely wish him a future as rotten and stinky as the dung in the toilet. With that, I poured the champagne on Matt's head. So satisfying. Wow, I've really stepped up my game. Anyone lacking a bit of wit wouldn't get it now. The wine trickled down his big head, drop by drop, and Matt crushed the glass in his hand in fury, the shards scattering everywhere, just like his public image today. Gotta hand it to the CEO, handling this, still looking steady as a rock. Everyone, enjoy the party. Assistant, escort my daughter out. The assistant led me to a back room, with music blasting outside and icy air inside. My raging dad was about to eat me alive, signaling to others to teach me a lesson. If you want to hit me, think twice. From my waist holder, I drew a knife, holding it up. You know how crazy I can get. Don't want it to end badly for both of us. Then sit down and talk. With so many people outside, if something happened, there were plenty who'd love to see him lose his position. Fine, you get a pass. Now go outside and announce in front of everyone that you give up your inheritance. All shares and assets transfer to me. Why should I? Grandpa left those to me. You squandered it, and now want to snatch mine. Because I'm your biological parent. Just giving birth to you is a tremendous grace, and you still want to occupy my stuff. Ha, I couldn't help but laugh coldly. So many years, not one day of parental duty, and now there's gain to be had. They want to pull the parental grace card. How shameless. Seeing my disagreement, Dad's eyes turned red, obviously moved to murderous thoughts. Quickly thinking, I agreed. Okay, I want to see a lawyer. Hearing that, his face eased, assuming I'd backed down. He called for the lawyer, telling them I wanted to give up the inheritance. Since we're announcing, get a crowd. Let everyone witness. He couldn't wait for everyone to know he'd won. Good, I thought. The more people, the better. A bigger scene works for me. As victory seemed inevitable, Lily clung to Mom, whining. Mom, after this, I want to beat her up good. Okay, when it's over, that little witch is all yours to handle. Mom pat her hand to comfort her. I want to go to the best dance academy, win awards. My daughter's the best. There they stood, the three of them, looking as happy as a real family bound by blood. But sooner or later, you'll be crying. A moment later, the lawyer arrived. Ben, you're finally here. Grandpa trusted you the most. Even my dad has to give you some respect. But Ben walked right past him and stood in front of me. Emma, yeah, I responded, sitting in front of Ben. I looked more like the boss than my dad did. Ben, my daughter Emma says she wants to voluntarily give up her inheritance, so I invited you to notarize it. My dad's fawning tone made Ben frown slightly. Are you sure about this? Yes, I'm sure. My dad answered halfway, realizing Ben wasn't looking at him at all. Instead, he seemed to be asking for my opinion. Facing my dad's puzzled look, Ben explained, a week ago, Emma already inherited the estate. What? Matt looked like he'd been struck by lightning, jumping up. No way. Emma's still a month from turning 18. Did you all conspire to steal my money? Matt, if you keep making false accusations, I can sue you for slander. Emma's inheritance was completely legal and above board. Saying that, Ben showed a series of documents as evidence. My dad shakily flipped through the papers, then collapsed on the floor. Did you change your birth records? I smirked at him. Yeah, I learned that from you. In the previous life, he tricked me during school, altering my birth records to get the inheritance faster by claiming I was kidnapped and then found. Now that things are this messy between us, there's no way he'd deceive me again. So I turned the tables, acting first to gain the upper hand. Suddenly, an idea seemed to hit my dad, he struggled to stand. There's the shareholder vote. It must be unanimous. Now, everyone vote. He called out to several major shareholders one after another, but they all ignored him as if he was invisible. Stop calling, it's useless. They listened to me now. I waved my small hand, and the rest of the shareholders lowered their heads in unison. You think I've spent months, after my rebirth, just doing nothing except eating at home. Dealing with them was a piece of cake. Using some incentives and threats, there's always a way to make them bow down. What can I say? Being reborn means I got some dirt on them easily. I'm the group's new president now, and I decide to remove the current president, Matt. All these years, I've worked hard. Why should I be removed? Because of your incompetence over the years. I tossed a stack of papers at him showing evidence of Matt embezzling public funds, gambling, and short-selling the company. How do you have these? He doubted it, desperately trying to tear up the papers. HMPH. If the neighboring group can send a president to jail over a failed fire inspection, why can't I do something similar? Ben, all the properties and cars under Matt's name are mine now. Reclaim them and order him to move out, and confiscate all his money to fill the company's gaps. Hearing this, Matt seemed in disbelief. It's impossible. No one can take my money. He grabbed the knife I had placed on the table and dashed toward me. But after just a couple of steps, the bodyguards held him down. Ben, due to Matt's attempt to harm me, which has severely affected my mood, sue him. I want him to compensate me $1 million. Seeing Ben's slightly troubled expression, I mercifully reminded him, if you can't do that, I'll send you to live with gorillas in Africa. After speaking, I walked away without looking back, ignoring everyone's speechless expressions. I was secretly elated inside. So this is what being a domineering boss feels like. Squeezing my employees, it's awesome. As for my mom and Lily, they were so scared by the blows that they were too shaken to interfere with me. Don't worry, their retribution is still on its way. I handed the company over to a professional manager, and spent my days idle, making up for the regrets of my past life. To prevent those three from causing any more trouble, I hired a private detective to keep an eye on them. The detective reported back that my parents were trying to surround me every day. When they couldn't find me at home, they'd come to the company, causing chaos. In my anger, I messaged everyone in the company. See those three downstairs? Every time you chase them away, you get a $500 bonus. Don't worry. If anything happens, Ben will handle it. Employee A, boss, you sure are generous. Employee B, don't worry, boss, I've got this covered. Employee C, don't jump in, I'm on it. I bet that Matt's cursing me awake in the middle of the night. What's wrong with the boss? Are they crazy or something? Thanks to my endless encouragement, my parents no longer dared to show up at the company or my house. With Dad no longer in his high position, coupled with my announcement cutting off ties, old enemies and creditors came calling, and life became extremely tough for him. Unable to repay his gambling debts, he tried to offer Lily as collateral, but their beloved Lily tried to flee overnight. However, she failed to escape and was caught. During the chase, she got her leg broken, and Matt ended up hitting his head and turning into a vegetable. Without money, they couldn't afford the high costs and were brought back home to wait for death. My mom died due to a gas accident, suffering from carbon monoxide poisoning. Now she had company in the afterlife. My parents passed, and Lily lost her mind. As her so-called sister, of course, I had to see her off on her final journey. Ah, a ghost. Emma, you were supposed to be dead. You useless cripple. How dare you try to take my stuff? I'll kill you. It's all mine. I'm the winner. She rambled nonsensically, but in her gibberish, I saw glimpses of her former victory. Emma, what do we do now? Send her to psychiatric hospital. With just a light remark, I decided Lily's fate for the rest of her life. That's where she sent me in the past life. No, I won't go. Let me go. They are all devils. They eat people in there. No matter how much she screamed and struggled, it was all in vain. The rest of her life would be spent paying me back. Emma, I'm watching this, and it's making me crazy. Living, none of us are truly sane. We're all just holding on. What are you mumbling about? My assistant leaned his big head over to ask. I wrapped my arm around his neck. I'm saying that when the world is unfair, you gotta go a little crazy. I hope those in difficult times, like me, find the courage to go crazy and boldly carve out a life of peace and prosperity. The sun shone warmly on my back, signaling the start of a new life.